And here we go. Digital Adel back with another Hoops Profile Beyond the Backboard podcast for you. Holiday special edition. Today, we're going to be talking about the NBA Rookie of the Year race for that 2024 NBA draft class. And there's a lot happening in the NBA. There's people with injuries like Jared McCain. There's people that are ascending and just now getting hip to Stephon Castle. Yves Missy's been a beast. Zach Edey had a couple of good games since coming back from his injury. And we're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the 2025 class a little bit. Before I do, I just want to thank everybody that's liked, subscribed, watched, and listened to our channel. A big shout out to BURAOT Fantasy Basketball, who just subscribed to the channel recently. Really appreciate you and, you know, what you're doing in terms of subscribing and consuming the content. It's been a banger year for this channel, man. When I tell you a banger year, it's been outstanding. So I want to review some of those metrics and analytics with y'all because it's just something I think that you should know about because you've been a big part of that. You've made that. You've made this year what it is, the success that it's been. Let me see if I can bring up my year-end statistics for the channel. I know YouTube did send me them, but let me see if I can find them. There we go. Nope, I can't find it. But I believe the number was something like 4,000 subscribers on the year. Our average view duration was higher than it's ever been. The podcast is popping off. The returning viewers are climbing. Just really, really appreciate everybody that's liked and subscribed. What's going on with me, we missed a week. I planned on doing a podcast in between Christmas, the holidays, and, you know, happy holidays to you and your family, no matter what you celebrate. I celebrate Christmas. Really appreciate everybody. I hope everybody had a merry one. Happy New Year as well. It's coming up soon, so the content's a little light, but we're going to get back into it. What's happened with me is on Christmas Day, my hot water heater went bad. Had to replace that, so I got done replacing my hot water heater. That took up a lot of time. I missed my playback sessions on 5 Reasons Sports. I hadn't been able to do the podcast with Matt Hannafin as much as I wanted to because of the hot water heater situation. Still working through it, actually. Some funky stuff going on with it, but we'll persevere and push through. Let's talk basketball, which I'm super excited about. So I'm going to take questions. Drop your questions in the chat today as well. It's going to be a little Ask Me Anything. So I'll be taking your questions. Just drop them in the chat, and we'll definitely chop it up and talk about it. Let's get to this rookie ladder, right? So the latest rookie ladder edition on NBA.com by Steve Ashburner. We've commented on his rookie ladder rankings in the past. Didn't agree with them. We'll see how he does this time, right? Let's cut to his rookie ladder. There we go. There's Steve. Let me get the collab cam. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. Got that off the screen for you. So this is the rookie ladder by Steve Ashburner. Jeez, I was changing the man's whole name. But let's get to that. So the very first part of it is we'll go all the way to the bottom. Number 10, Jacoby Walter. We've talked about him on the channel. He's averaging 8.9 points a game, 3 rebounds, 1.6 per game. And the thing about Jacoby Walter. He's supposed to be a knockdown shooter that hadn't been shooting very well from three. Lately, the past couple of weeks, he's turned that around. His point of attack defense was billed highly touted coming out of college, but I never really saw it. Wasn't super high on it. But it was one of those things where he's getting better and better. So maybe he'll prove me wrong. We'll see. He's one to watch. AJ Mitchell for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He hasn't really been playing a ton, but he has been playing minutes for OKC. 5.7 points per game, 1.9 rebounds, 1.7 assists. Overachiever, contributing to winning. Bad news, he's already played more than half of the 50 games allowed for two ways. So he's on a two-way contract. He's played a lot. I can't see him not getting a standard contract from OKC because he's played more than I expected. And I really wasn't that high on him out of the draft because of his lack of athleticism and burst. We'll see, though. We'll see how it goes. The jury's still out on AJ Mitchell. Number 8, Tristan da Silva. Now, with all the injuries that the Orlando Magic have had, Tristan da Silva has been outstanding, man. I actually really like what he's brought to the table and how well he's played whenever he's got his opportunities. His numbers aren't eye-popping by any stretch of the imagination, but as he gets more and more comfortable, you can see why the Orlando Magic drafted Tristan da Silva. His versatility defensively, his ability to, spread the floor and shoot the basketball, that length, the athleticism, his poise and decision-making. I really like Tristan da Silva. He's pretty high on my list as well. Bub Carrington for the Washington Wizards, man. He's played a lot for the Wizards. Jordan Poole really hamper his and Koulibaly's development. They really need to make a move to clear up that position. So these young guys who are the future of that team need to be able to get the reps and get the minutes. I'd sell on Jordan Poole if you can. I don't know when he's eligible to be traded. They just signed him to that mega deal. I don't even know if a team's going to be willing to take Jordan Poole at this point. But Bub Carrington, he's a tough shot maker. I mean, he really fits in. He plays well with Koulibaly in the backcourt when they are together. He's injured, so I don't know if he's ever going to climb any higher on this list. We'll see how he recovers from that injury. But he's played really well in his minutes. I mean, averaging 4.4 rebounds per game, almost 4 assists per game as a rookie. It is an up-tempo style offense, so there are more opportunities. But I've liked what I've seen from him, a little bit more playmaking than maybe he did in college. The point of attack defense is getting better and better. He was known for that in college. He did it really well. Just the speed of the game in the NBA, it's just a different level in the NBA. Zachary Risachet, number 6, 10.6 points per game, 3.2 rebounds per game, 1.1 assists per game for the number 1 overall pick. He's going to get better and better. I liked what I saw from him in Europe. The way he moves is way better than people gave him credit for. His ability to handle and penetrate is better than people gave him credit for. His jumpers coming around. This kid, the sky's the limit for this kid. I see nothing but upside with him. It's a little difficult to really see what he's going to be able to do playmaking wise because Trae Young dominates the ball so much. But he's not a traditional point guard, of course. He's more of a scoring guard. And he can play multiple positions due to that size, length, and athleticism. Number 5, the dinosaur, Zach Edey. We've talked about him a ton on this channel. He's coming off probably one of his best performances of the season against Toronto. He put up like 21 points, 16 rebounds, and a few blocks. That being said, the biggest player on the Toronto Raptors is probably 6'8". Zach Edey is mammoth, 7'4", 7'11" wingspan. You better dominate the boards and dominate on the inside when you're playing a team of that size. But I've been pleasantly surprised. He moves a little better than I thought. It's not great still, And he is going to have a problem with blocking shots and getting into foul trouble here and there because the speed of the game is so much faster. He brings the ball down low. We always try to teach our big men that we can't bring the ball down low. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with Zach Edey moving forward. He had a nice matchup with Yves Missi recently, and he didn't put up nearly the numbers that he's supposed to as the number 9 overall pick. Yves Missi had like 3 or 4 blocks that game. I'm really infatuated with Yves Missi, but we'll get to him in a bit. Zach Edey's shooting touch, he's never going to be a big three-point shooter. It's been a little bit better than anticipated. And then Alex Sarr for the Washington Wizards. I really like Alex Sarr. I had him number 2 on my big board. A lot of people, for some reason, didn't think he was going to do too well, but the issue is that he's 7'2". He's got nice shooting touch, nice handles. He's fluid. He moves better than people think. Even though he didn't start out shooting well to begin the NBA season, but as Steve puts here, in the month of December, he's been hitting 45.6% from the field and 42.9% from 3 in the month of December. So those numbers are going to continue to climb and get better and better. Really like what I saw out of Alex Sarr coming out of the draft, and I'm super excited for his trajectory. Number 3, Jalen Wells of the Memphis Grizzlies, the surprise of the 2024 season. He started 25 games for Memphis. He's the only one of the second rounders averaging more than 6.4 points per game. Plus minus, I'm not a big fan of the plus minus stat. Maybe for lineups, but not for individual players. Definitely single game plus minus. Not a fan of that either. But he's got 11.4 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game. I would have Alex Sarr over Jalen Wells. I'll be honest with you. I like what Jalen Wells has done. He's been a positive contributor for the Memphis Grizzlies, especially tremendous value at the number 39 overall pick. Let me just put this on here. Make sure that if you have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. And then we will get to those at the end. So anyway, did I put that on screen by accident? That's not good, brother. What was I going to say? So let me pop this chat out real quick so I don't ever do that again. There you go. And there we go. So let's talk number 2. Number 2 overall is Yves Missi. Missi had his fingerprints, according to Steve, all over the Pelicans' exciting but unsuccessful loss to Denver. He had 21 points on 9 of 12 shooting, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, including a swat of Nikola Jokic's layup with a minute left in the extra session. At the end, like so many veterans, Missi couldn't properly execute an intentional free throw miss. He's progressing through the losing. He is progressing through all of the losing, man. He's been outstanding. And he may end up being your rookie of the year. He's played a ton of minutes for the Pelicans, averaging 9.7 points per game. They don't run anything for him. It's all off of pick and rolls, crashing the glass, running the floor, heart and hustle. He has a motor that never, ever quits. His motor never stops, man. Averaging almost 8.6 rebounds per game, 1.2 blocks per game. So he's averaging more rebounds per game than Zach Edey, averaging more blocks per game than Zach Edey. Edey's averaging slightly more points per game. But for Edey being drafted number 9 overall and Missi being drafted 21st overall, you gotta love what Missi's bringing to the table. And he's got less talent around him. Edey's got way more talent around him. So for Missi to put up the numbers he's putting up, I think he's going to be your rookie of the year at the end of the season. Now, The best player in this draft, in my opinion, is going to be Stephon Castle. I also think he could easily end up rookie of the year. 11.6 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, 3.8 assists per game. But that does not tell the story of Stephon Castle. What tells the story for Stephon Castle is that he's a two-way player, guards some of the best wings and point guards every single night, and has the full confidence of the vet in Chris Paul from the very beginning. And you need somebody to talk about you and look at you the way Chris Paul looks at Stephon Castle. Woo, man, does he love some Stephon Castle. And that tells you all you need to know. That combination of Castle and Wemby is going to be devastating for years to come on the defensive end, as well as the offensive end. Hopefully, Castle can start to get his minutes back. I know they cut them back because it's a long NBA season, and they're trying to make sure that his growth is accelerated the best it can. Sometime you got to pull the minutes back, let the player recover as a rookie. Now, with that being said, he has to get those minutes back up in order for him to win the Rookie of the Year. If he doesn't, Yves Missi will be your Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. Let's swing over to the 2025 NBA draft class. We're just going to touch on a few topics. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it. Let's get our winter background in full effect here. And so let's talk about it. So the 2025 NBA draft class is shaping up to be a great one. Let's take a look at what we have from Tankathon here. Look at some of the metrics and statistics of these young college basketball players. Now, according to Tankathon, on their big board, they still have Cooper Flagg #1 overall. I would have Cooper Flagg #1 overall as well. He's doing an outstanding job in his freshman year. I don't care what people say in terms of, well, he's not averaging 20-plus points a game. Okay, 16.3 points per game, 8.6 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists per game, over a block per game, and over a steal per game. This kid does it all. He's your #1 overall pick, man. So the 2025 NBA draft class, let's bring that back so you can see what Tankathon has on their big board. Stop the winner graphic. Let's get the big board up here by Tankathon. Maybe we'll zoom that in for the audience. There we go. Make the board a little bit bigger. #2, they still have Dylan Harper, the 6'6" point guard from Rutgers. He's averaging 23.3 points per game, 4.5 almost 5 rebounds per game, little over 4 assists per game, and a steal per game. This kid is outstanding. He needs to fix the form on his jump shot. That's one of the flaws I see in Dylan Harper's game. But man, can he do it all? And he does it all for Rutgers, him and Ace Bailey both. Ace Bailey, people are sleeping on his talent. Elite shot maker. I've watched tons of Rutgers games this year. They really have no help, man. Him and Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper are it, man. That's really all they have. Ace Bailey, 17.6 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, also a steal per game. You need draft capital if you're an NBA team in this 2025 class, man. This class is loaded. Loaded. And think about this. OKC has 5 draft picks potentially in the 2025 class. 5. That's crazy. Igor Denman's been hurt, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on him. I'm not sure how he keeps climbing Tankathon's big boards when he's been injured and hasn't been playing. I like what I saw when he was playing. He has an excellent feel for the game. He's got a really nice 3-point shot on the step backs. VJ Edgecombe, I'm not sold on VJ Edgecombe at #5. I would have Kasparas Yakachonis ahead of him, and Trey Johnson would both be ahead of VJ in my opinion. Castman is outstanding, dude. His step backs are phenomenal. 16.5 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, over a steal per game, Casp does it all as a freshman. That 6'6", 205-pound frame. He isn't super athletic, but he's super smart, knows how to use it. Needs to take care of the basketball because he does turn the ball over a little bit. Trey Johnson, they have at number 7, the 6'6" freshman, still almost putting up 20 points per game in the SEC. Outstanding shot maker. Con Knipple, they have at number 8. The center for Duke, Kaman Malawach, they have at number 9. Con struggled a little bit against high pressure defense with his foot speed. His foot speed isn't exactly where you want it. He's going to definitely need to work on that, but I'm still really high on him. Probably the second best passer on Duke. Has an excellent feel for the game. Nolan Traore has been terrific in an international ball, man. This guy is shifty. His ability to penetrate and facilitate over 5.1 assists per game in the European Pro League. Derek Queen is an extremely skilled big man. His outside shot needs a ton of work, but 16.8 points for Maryland, 8.3 rebounds per game, over a block and a steal per game. Love what I've seen out of Derek Queen. Asa Newell's fallen a little bit, but he's only going to get better. He's just got to get more confidence in where he's going to get his shots. His shot blocking is still outstanding. His ability to rebound the basketball at 6'10", his athleticism pops off the tape, man. Pops off the tape. Colin Boyles, I would have a little bit lower. I'm not really a fan of his. I mean, he's a big body. He's only 6'7", uses that 230-pound frame well, but he has very little athletic upside. Not very athletic at all. Will Riley, I'm not real high on Will Riley. Liam McNeely's been better lately, but still just seems to me like he's going to be a solid role player at the next level. Boogie Fland, super high on Boogie Fland. I love what Boogie brings to the table, man. Almost 2 steals per game, over 6 assists per game, almost 4 rebounds per game, and 15.3 points as a freshman at Arkansas. Noah, I've heard a lot of good things about Noah internationally. I haven't watched a ton of his games yet. And I've watched a couple of games on Hugo. Still a lot of work to do. We'll know more later in the European season. JT Toppin, excellent player for Texas Tech. I like Ian Jackson for North Carolina. Probably more than I like Drake Powell. I haven't watched a lot of LeBaron. We've talked about Adu Thoreau on this channel with Matt Hannafin quite a bit. But with that, I just wanted to touch base with you guys. I wanted to say happy holidays. We're going to get back to the regular schedule after the new year. Just been a little hectic. I apologize. If you have any questions for me, don't forget to drop those questions on my YouTube channel or on social media. You can find me at Digital Adel or anywhere, so any social media platform under Digital Adel. Find our podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Hoops Profile Beyond the Backboard. I'm a contributor at the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Catch us on playback.tv/5RSN for the Miami Heat game today. I'll be there. I'm going to try to get some prospects out. I really need to do Jeremiah Fears. I've been wanting to do a Fears video for a long time. I started to do one. I have a couple of clips cut up, but I just haven't had the time with the holidays and the water heater situation to do it. But I'm going to get that up as soon as possible because he is the best kept secret for the Oklahoma Sooners, Jeremiah Fears. That kid is explosively quick, can facilitate, can get to the cup, can finish. Really high free throw percentage. Let me see if I can find Fears. Did they put him on this list yet? The Tankathon doesn't even have him on here. That's crazy, brother. Crazy. Let's see if we can type his name. Jeremiah Fears. No, they don't even have him in the list, man. Not even in the list. They got Jeremiah Robinson Earl from 2021, but no fears. Come on, do better, Tankathon. You got to do better than that, Tankathon. Can't believe they don't have fears on there. That's malpractice. Draft board malpractice to not have Jeremiah Fears on there. There's no way he shouldn't be on the radar for the 2025. Oops, I'm on the wrong one again. The 2025 class. There's no way he shouldn't be on there, guys. You gotta check out Jeremiah Fears if you haven't seen him play. I'll get a video out on him in the next couple of days if I can. But that's it for me. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.